Welcome to the Trash Cats Trashcast. I'm Richard.
I'm Steven.
And today we're not slashing the tires of volunteer historic district committee members yet.
Oh yeah? Not yet?
Not yet. We've tabled the motion. I'll give you more details on that in a little bit. I know you've brought a presentation to the show today.
Perhaps. So you menaced them. You subdued them into submission, huh?
Almost. I didn't roll super high on the intimidation check. It was, but it was above mediocre. They're still making their deck saves, and we'll figure it out.
So, real quick, Trash Cats, I'm gonna do a quick recap of the last season of American Horror. Okay. I'm going to speed run this.
Not to be confused with American Horror Story.
Yeah, not at all. This is true American Horror.
It's just true crime.
Yeah. We're going to speed run it so we don't have to talk about this trash any longer. Not a moment longer than necessary. And then we can focus on the more funner stuff.
the more pressing issues.
Yeah. Well, hopefully we can have some fun, because this is all doomer shit, but it's kind of important. So, first off, we have the president's hands began to rot off.
Yep, pretty cool. Pretty sick.
The health of our leader of the country is at stake. He's dying, okay? And
there were
in the wings,
some strong rumors going around that he was actually dead.
Yes, there were.
He was out of public eye for more than 3 days, and people were like, whoa.
Do you know this part, though? They were circulating fake photos and videos.
Yeah, I did see that. They were circulating, like, old-ass pictures and stuff, too, yeah.
That's crazy.
That was really weird.
There's a lot of speculation he had mini strokes. Like, actually mentally incapacitated. And since he's talking stupider and stupider, and his face they've edited his face in a bunch of the photos, like covering up it's like clearly something serious is happening, and they had to post proof of life, basically. And they used old photos and videos that were edited to make it seem like he was doing great. Like that he didn't even have the bruising in his hands yet in the foot that they released saying were current. Like, it's fucking crazy.
It's very, very weird. Especially for people that went so hard after, Biden's health decline.
and meanwhile,
then,
he's
they
older.
need to be more public about it. They need to be more transparent about it. And then
when we know his doctor has lied, they lie about his height and weight. Stuff we can all see. It's insane. The dude is looking dumber by the day. He looks perma-stroked. And then he signed a new executive order criminalizing flag burning.
Yeah.
Dude, we talked about this like 3 months ago.
He loves the First Amendment so much that you can't burn a flag anymore.
Bro, they're just like saying it out of the side of their mouth that we don't really care about freedom of speech. We don't really care about
Yeah, exactly.
And none of it matters to them. That they lie about everything. And then they made legislation that allows the federal government to create their own private volunteer militia. I don't think most people know about this. They snuck it in some bill or some shit, and it's like a private military force separate from the military that takes volunteer people. You have to go through very minimal training, and you can be as young as 18 and like show up at different centers in the state to enroll in the president's private militia.
He's speed running fascism.
It's Nazi brown shirts.
It's very much, it's extreme. It's like, it's so blatant.
We call this foreshadowing.
Yeah.
and meanwhile, they fucking stole 10% or whatever the fuck of intel, stealing private businesses. It's like, it's mind-boggling. Fuck, dude. There's just like so much that happened.
Yeah.
The flag burning drives me fucking nuts. I'm sure you saw that vet within an hour of it, him signing it. He showed up at the White House and burned a flag outside. They fucking arrested him.
Yep.
I know you can't burn shit in like there's other laws it can violate, but on private property, you could it's a fundamental freedom of speech case to be able to burn a flag.
100%, yeah.
It's, oh God, crazy. Federal troops have now been stationed in more states. The president's Twitter account says, it's like, what is it? Apocalypse Chirac? Like Apocalypse Now? It's like Trump as an AI cowboy. I don't know if these people know the movie Apocalypse Now. It's about firebombing innocent people. That's the movie, if you haven't seen it. But he's declaring he loves the smell of deportations in the morning and has declared war on Chicago. Yeah. Federal troops have been stationed in multiple more states. I don't know the number. I know it hit like 7 at one point, but I don't know.
By the time this comes out, it's gonna be different anyways.
Dude, the guy that threw the sandwich, with the troops,
yeah,
and then they put out a video, like a highly produced music video style video of them raiding the dude's apartment to drop on Twitter. And here's the fucked up part. The dude he worked for the DOJ, just like a regular dude out on a Saturday night, whatever the fuck. And he's pissed that all these soldiers are in DC, so he lobs a sub sandwich at him, at the soldiers, and runs away. He worked for the DOJ. He's clearly guilty of a crime. I don't think it's deserving of assaulting, like there was no clear threat. Yeah. They want to put him in prison for years.
Breaching his fucking house.
Yeah, but they couldn't even secure the indictment because the people of DC hate that these soldiers are in their city so much. But what's so fucked about that is he's guilty as fuck. It's just what they want to charge him with is such overkill and under such authoritarian circumstance that no one could even decide to indict him. But we're entering like completely lawless waters at this point. We want to deport people to Uganda now? Like they're creating lawless zones, and even the people that are resisting are like, yo, fuck the law, because this shit's like it's become so outrageous and everything's so unproportional that how could you vote to like send this guy to prison for years over a sandwich?
Exactly.
It's fucked. Federal troops in more states. The Supreme Court had a recent ruling that decided race can be a determining factor to establish reasonable suspicion when rounding up people they want to deport. So you can't...
you can't be brown in public.
Well, you can, but you can't be working jobs such as day laborer or at places such as Home Depot while also being non-white in certain states. That's what the Supreme Court says. There's a high proportion of people that work as day laborers or that go to Home Depot in states like New Mexico and California that aren't white, and that in those places is enough to demand papers. And if you don't have the right paperwork, they can arrest you. That's reasonable suspicion now. You can't use race.
That's why you got to shop at Lowe's, guys.
You can't use race to evaluate things like college admissions now, but you can use them to arrest and deport people at random.
It's that DEI shit. They're bringing it. They're trying to wokeify.
Bruh. Fuck.
So it's so insane. It's so fucking crazy. They're like, you just gotta have your birth certificate on you all the time.
Tattoo it on you.
Yeah, you have to have because even if you have visas and work permits and whatever, like you still have. That's apparently not good enough anymore.
And even at the very least, if all your shit's legit, you're still being hemmed up for hours being accused of something. Like this is like classic Supreme Court shit. This is classic civil rights. Like, the idea that the Supreme Court gave that last ruling is it's counter everything the Supreme Court has wrote about civil rights in the history of this country. It's wild.
Was that before or after the Hyundai plant? Do you have that on there too?
No, the raid at one of the plants. I forget.
Yeah. Did you?
They did that so many places. What happened there that I missed?
So that one in particular, what I've been getting out of that, my algorithm thinks I wanted to follow that one a lot. So I've watched a few different videos on that one actually today. So there was a Georgian woman who's running for, I don't know, for governor or something. She's running for some, elected position in the state. And she has some type of, government job currently. Mm-hmm. She made a video for, TikTok or Twitter or something and posted it. And she said, I was the one who told ICE that there's all these, illegals that were working there. And she tried to say,
because it's like slave labor.
It's slave labor. Yeah. So this whole thing went on, and she said all these, these South Korean, people that came in and they're taking these jobs that are supposed to go to Georgians or yada, yada, yada. Anyways, the point that people are pointing out is like, Hyundai brought these people in to teach them. It's a battery making center, like how to make these batteries. They brought in people from their base corporation, Hyundai. It's a South Korean brand.
They're importing talent from across the world to teach our people to do shit.
It's a temp gig so that they can teach people how to do it, and then they leave. They don't get paid by America. They get paid for the job when they go back to
by
Korea,
their home
when they go home. Yeah. So when they go home, because they weren't planning to be here and take those jobs. They're teaching people so that all the people in Georgia could have jobs. And I forget how many jobs it was. It was, a large figure of jobs that is now in jeopardy because, Hyundai's like, well, fuck, I don't, do we even want to open this plant here? Like, we're trying to do shit by your board and like make everything over there. That's great. But like, if we send people over there and they're getting like raided and swooped up by your unofficial military
and possibly sent to torture camps in another country they're not from, like,
right. And of course, South Korea's, government has been involved with it now, and they're like, yeah, obviously, like, we'll do everything we can to, like, don't even worry about, fuck the job, come home. Like, we'll get you home.
Man. And then to top it off, did you see the drone strike on the Venezuelan boat?
No, I saw the drones over Poland, though.
I don't even know about that one. But this all right, the meme, the Republican mega meme right now is they want to invade Venezuela because their drugs are making it to the U.S., supposedly, which is so crazy because we've gone over this so many times. Prior to MAGA and MAGA, including MAGA, but prior, Republicans hate drug addicts. They were refusing to Narcan people and have since stopped federal funding to most states for Narcan. Like, they want addicts to die, but they don't like the idea that drugs come here and it's poisoning American people, but that they hate the addicts too. So, as a show of force, we also changed our Secretary of Defense, what is it, to the Department of War?
Yep. Instead of Department of Defense, it's Department of War.
And they decided to take a tough stance on these Venezuelan drug dealers. So, all right, if we go back to Afghanistan, Iraq, all that shit, even the most recent strike on Iran over the nuclear facility shit, that was crazy because there was no declaration of war. It did not go through Congress, but at least it was a conflict the country was engaged in. If we, like, all the Middle East stuff, there were at least, what are they called? Authorities for military force. There were things done legislatively to try to give good reason for some of these attacks we've done.
Right.
Even if they were bullshit, right?
Even if it's bullshit, there's an attempt.
There was something.
There's an attempt for bullshit.
And it at least made sense. Even if, we disagreed with the actions, there was some form of logic that this is a conflict we're engaged in and force could yield X result. Well, now,
right.
Yeah, and these people still want to imprison Obama for some of his strikes. But meanwhile, Hegseth, Trump, Rubio, these fucking losers, they just dropped a drone on what they believed was a Venezuelan speedboat in international waters off the coast of Venezuela. Now, when you think of drug trafficking, you think of a couple people on a speedboat, right? Zipping drugs to different places.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
They said this boat obviously had drugs that would eventually make it to the U.S., but they weren't on the same page and didn't release any legal justification till about 10 days after they drone strike this boat off the face of the earth. Now, turns out they have no idea who was on the boat. They have no proof there were drugs. They have no evidence it was the drug dealers they thought they could be targeting. And the footage of the boat now shows that there were 11 people. Now, it's possible they were drug couriers and they, for some reason, had a wacky proportion of people to drugs, or it's more likely that some of them were people being smuggled, and they also just bombed the fuck out of the people that were being human trafficked, right? They just drone striked people in international waters from a country we're not at war with over drug, potentially, no proof, but drug smuggling.
Absolutely insane.
Even if they were directly driving the speedboat to the U.S. and got busted off the coast of Florida, and they were caught by the fucking Coast Guard, they would never be murdered. It's not a crime that is eligible for execution. But we drone strike them? Bro, it's so much farther. Even Obama shit, these were terror cells they were attacking.
Right.
Not fucking drug dealers from a country we're not engaged with yet. It's so nuts. So when the vice president is confronted about this over Twitter, people saying that, you just may have murdered innocent civilians, J.D. Vance says, I don't give a shit what you call it. And the Trump administration has since said, there will be more strikes. And they very publicly are now saying they want a ground war with Venezuela. They want to send their troops to Venezuela.
Jesus.
No one truly knows why. It's become just about disrespect from the Venezuelan government because they didn't like that the Trump administration is targeting their boats because maybe they have drugs. Now, back in America, I'm sure you saw this one. I'm not trying to put a certain emphasis on this. I just don't know how else to word it. A once trans person who may have deconverted, but is clearly a mentally ill memer, Nazi memer, that was part of an online cult, shot up a church. Did you see this?
I saw headlines. I saw things about it. I don't know details.
Okay, it's pretty wacky. Now, to the shooter's credit, they released a manifesto, which I appreciated, which included...
Always type the manifesto first.
Always. Well, they were clever because they put out a 20-minute video of them flipping through the manifesto and spread it as far and wide as they could. Now, where the FBI failed is the website, I won't say the name, that this person was on, some of the Nazi meme forums.
Cool.
They had been posting the date they were going to do this shooting for about 6 weeks.
Oh, wow.
And all over the zany part, they're like a Zoomer, Nazi, crazy person. All over all their gear, they wrote different meme phrases in paint marker. And the video they put out, like, he kept pretending, I don't know if it's he or she, they kept pretending to have a cough and said they have lung cancer from the vapes, and they're clearly memeing. Like, that, you know, like, it's all like layers of post-ironic satire. And then they went to a church and had trouble getting in, apparently, but shot and killed 2 kids who were praying. Now, fortunately, Fox News reporters quickly found a silver lining, okay? These reporters, mere hours after the shooting on the site, they exclaimed, quote, "At least the shooter's dead," as they exclaimed outside of the church, and that now the kids are back home with Jesus. And as much as I appreciate Fox News' sense of humor, I think the real problem was that the kids just really didn't pray hard enough.
Truly, obviously.
Dude, can you imagine?
You know, think about it from Fox News's perspective on that. The real crime here is that more of them weren't home with Jesus.
I know.
It could have been more people.
Terrible kill rate. Your KD ratio was 1-2.
Very whack.
Bro, like, imagine all the people in that congregation for the rest of their lives going back to the church where they watch 2 kids get domed while praying, and they sing their little gospels about how good their God is. It's so wackadoodle, man. These people are fucked.
He works in mysterious ways.
Dude, thoughts and prayers. After hearing that news report, we all know it's a sad tragedy, okay? We don't need to, like, cry for kids forever and then take everyone's guns. Like, this is not real solutions. But when you hear these reporters and the media, social media, people praising God in that moment with their children dead on the pews, I have way more empathy with the fucking shooter in that situation. Yeah. Holy fuck, bro. Like, this, like, watching the news report is like, you understand, this is why people do this shit. Like, you people, this sucks so much. The response to it is like justification for future shit. And they have no sense of self, like, no idea what's happening or their part in this in the future.
Yeah, I think there's definitely been for decades now, but there's a veil that's like, oh, we're just reporting. We're just
yes.
We're just bringing we're bringing the story to the people. Like, people want to know what happened. And it's like, okay, but what you're doing in the way that you respond to this
better
is, do it better. Do a better job.
Yeah. Like, we see this with, what's his name? Scott Bassett, like the Fed guy for Trump, like all these people going, they're mostly on Fox News, but for people from the Trump administration to even show up on other news networks, they have to do these puff pieces where the journalists give no pushback, no hard questions. They let lie after lie happen, where they become complicit in this play, right, of pushing the president's lies and power so that they can have, some viewership or a chance to be in the story. And it's the same with overall, I like journalism. I like reporters, but this is a problem. Like, the idea that the reporting on every public shooting or massacre, like all of these events, is so fucking bad. At a certain point, they are contributing to that zeitgeist.
Yeah.
MAGA then decided to use this as justification and decided they wanted to ban trans people from having guns. And then in a ironic twist of fate, the NRA then decided they wanted to defend trans people's rights to own guns. Which is just wild, man.
It is wild.
The big cherry on top, this is the most recent thing, just happened today, fresh off the press. Charlie Kirk, the largest, most prolific, and most tiny-faced MAGA activator, was just assassinated at a college event. Fucking sniped in the fucking throat. Died in front of everyone in the audience. And right now we're waiting to see what the political fallout will look like. Fingers crossed, the shooter will be another disenfranchised MAGA loser, so it nerfs some of the incoming storm of bullshit.
That's the thing. I think that is the part that is always that I feel like that's more crucial to me than the actual like okay, I'm not celebrating that Charlie Kirk was shot. I think I'm not like upset by it by any means.
Dude, I jacked off twice to the close-up video.
The video's wild.
I got the link, bro.
The video's crazy.
Dude, he died like a little pussy, bro. He just went, I can't breathe. And then he tilted back and like fainted like a little daisy.
Gave that man a tracheotomy.
Dude.
The idea of, I get the idea of being a public figure who shares, and hear me out. The idea of being a public figure who shares and contests ideas by any means, I think is not inherently bad, and you shouldn't have to be killed for it. But
depends on what the ideas are.
It depends on what the ideas are, and if one of your main ideas is that sometimes people have to die and it's worth it to have our Second Amendment, I think you have to be able to
Wait, what do you mean?
Own up to that.
What do you mean?
Well, that's it's one of his quotes is that people dying is a
part
necessary
of the air rate of
it's necessary to and worth it for having the right to have firearms.
I don't think that's a death-worthy line.
I'm not saying that. What I'm saying is if you're going to espouse that and that is your rhetoric, that is your line is that people
we would espouse that.
Right. Well, my point is I'm saying that people will die. And if you're okay with saying that people are going to die and it's worth not trying to fight the harm of the actual harm of what people can do, then you have to be ready to also face the consequences. If it's not just happening to someone else, when it's happening to you and your family.
Maybe, but we're both okay. We're both.
I'm pro guns. I'm pro Second Amendment, and I agree, and I stand by that.
So but I don't think if we get murdered by guns, we should have to be like, oh, that's it's okay because we liked that guns existed. I think he did so many. He's the fucking architect of MAGA. This dude,
right? He's right. I don't want to put any of that to the side, but I would like to say on that, I want to point out that on that point of if you want to
live by the gun, die by the gun.
Yes, perfect.
Kinda, but like,
I think it's fair. I'm not saying that I'm not saying that you need to be shot for having that point of view.
Well, let's say some fucking gangbanger.
I'm saying that if it happens, I shouldn't have to feel bad.
Well, you don't have to feel bad at all. This dude, we want good people in the world, and we want bad people to not be in the world. Okay? That is what people should want. If you get gunned down by some gangbanger on a drive-by, okay? And I'm not going to be like, oh, I accept that because Ricky was pro-gun. Like, I don't think his stance on guns is, like, worthy of what his fate. I feel like he earned his fate, but not...
He definitely earned his fate. I'm sorry. I think I made that to a point of this is why it's okay that he died. Getting at, though. But that's not what I meant.
Yeah. I get what you're nibbling at, though.
But I think what a lot of other coverage I've seen is, like, people that are like, this is not okay, and like we need to be better. And it's like, yo, he's calling for it for other people.
Absolutely.
It's like this is what, if it was happened to someone else, someone on the left, they would celebrate it.
Honestly,
and I'm not saying that I want to stoop to their level.
No,
but no,
he wouldn't. No, dude, this is what sucks because, oh, fuck. If you listen to enough Kirk or even some Nick Fuentes, despite all, Nick Fuentes flirts with it way more, is way worse, but Kirk is far more influential. Kirk still, above all, is a Christian. He will espouse all kinds of shit. There's a lot of clips. He scrubbed most of them from the internet pretty good. But there are a lot of clips of him saying non-white people are scum, blah, 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 blah. We're better than that. Like, pretty extreme stuff. But I could be mistaken, but I've listened to a lot of them. And if I've missed this, I would gladly admit it. But overall, he still would not publicly rejoice in anyone's death from political violence because he feigns as this morally superior Christian that would never stoop so low. And this is what a lot of these Republican fucking losers do. Like, you know how Jordan Peterson, have you ever watched that interview where he's interviewing? It's like his most famous interview right after the Bill C-16 whatever shit. And he's talking to a woman on stage and he's talking about women wearing makeup at work.
No, I'm not familiar with this bit.
It's the interview that made him like the incel king. He's doing this interview with her, and he does he never says a statement, just ask more questions. And do you think the men deserve to be paid more? Are they doing most of the work? Why do they have a position of power? Why do they get paid more? Don't you think your makeup's a little distracting? Don't you think that's unfair to the men? Don't you like that type of shit over and over where he builds where any reasonable person by the end of this interview, he's like wittier and quicker than her in this conversation. Not that she did anything wrong. By the end of this interview, it is so clear that his point of view is that women do not belong in the place of work, that their makeup is a clownish, whorish distraction, and they have no business in a man's place of business, right? Mm-hmm. Anytime he's ever asked about that, and there are times he'll revert, he's a whack job, like I don't even know what his true belief is, but the reasonable understanding of what his conclusion by the end of the interview is that women don't belong in a workplace with men. But if you read through the transcript, he never once would say that. He never once would directly say that. And he wouldn't admit to it in the future. Where they give you breadcrumbs. He pulls
the Eric Kahn move.
Yes.
He says everything around it without actually saying it. Or he asks questions that, yeah.
They give you all the breadcrumbs to draw the obvious, logical conclusion based off what they're saying, but they don't have the balls to say it themselves. That is Charlie Kirk. The dude has weekly phone calls with Trump on the social media and marketing and political strategy of MAGA, and he gives his talking points to every right-wing pundit on the internet, and he started all the Republican MAGA college groups. There's like hundreds of them across the country. He organizes them, organizes all the This dude is the, what is it, Goebbels, the fucking architect of MAGA, dude. Like but he would never publicly rejoice. Although, I think with George Floyd, he did say some pretty heinous rejoicing. But in general, he would not, like, rejoice at political violence because they're feigning a Christian superiority.
I don't know, I guess, enough about him in particular, but I want to say that that's not a thing that's ever stopped any of, like, the Republican Congress people, at least, from rejoicing when, you know, someone does something to a Democrat person or family member and then they're making memes about it the next day about, you know, like Joe Biden in the back of a pickup truck or something. And it's like they make jokes about that shit all the time. So I don't think that it's like, it's definitely not genuine. If he doesn't do it publicly, I absolutely believe that he feels it, you know, privately.
He's politically savvy. Yeah.
So yeah, I think shit like that it's like I don't care, you know, to the point of he can do this entire interview without saying that he doesn't think women belong in the workplace. But when, you know, without actually saying it, he can also, you know, celebrate and be okay with that without actually saying it.
Yep.
And to that point, I think it's fair to just not do the whole whisper quiet, you know, to ourselves that the world's a better place now that he's gone, and we can just say that out loud, and that's fine.
Mm. It sucks. I hear, you know, like you said, there's so many people on our side saying, "Oh, we're better than this. Don't condemn it." All that shit. Like, oh, look what the Trump administration is going to build off the backs of his corpse. And it's like, yo, that they'll create whatever ammo they need. Okay. It doesn't matter.
Yeah, exactly.
This or something else, like the Lake and Riley fucking death. Like, they'll manipulate and obscure and come up with, and you know, Charlie's death is not making the difference. They will build whatever ammo they need. Yeah, so right now we're waiting to know more about the shooter. I think that will matter a lot. And
I've already seen conspiracy theories.
Oh, of course.
You want to hear one? I think is interesting.
One.
Yeah. Someone had posted that it was like direct kill shot, and it was either someone who was very lucky or someone who was very good. So they think it was a professional job, and they think that it was someone from the CIA or the FBI or something.
Of course.
And it only happened because Trump needs a distraction from the Epstein birthday book news.
Bro.
And he just needs more cover-ups, and you know, he just had to pull one more favor from his boy Charlie, from his boy Chuck.
The final sacrifice. Yeah. Well, you know, like you said, yada, 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 political violence is bad. Although, I think some people are so consequential in their life that the consequences of their death may not compare. Either way, I think this tiny-faced man earned his fate.
Is it tiny face or big head?
I lean tiny face, but I'm open to big head. Either way, the proportions are all out of whack.
I think it's fair that, like, something's definitely off. I feel like I would need to see him in person to know.
The meme is
I don't have face. I
On
don't
a
have
big head.
And then I'll trust it's both. I'll trust everyone else's judgment since I'm never going to be able to get the opportunity now.
Now, I got one last one because I was at a birthday thing like last week. I had all that dental work done over the last couple years, right?
Right.
Well, I decided to buy a bag of high chews for the party.
Oh boy!
Now,
oh no!
Not my candy of choice, but I know
They're
everyone
so good.
there liked them, right?
Yeah.
Fucking yanked 4 cavities, bro.
4?
Like, doink, 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 doink.
I would, that sounds like shitty dental work, I think.
It was shitty dental work. It was that first place I went to that was a scam place. Now I have a top tier dentist and I got all of them reworked. I'm looking good again. We're back. Now, I mentioned this just because this is the last little thing. Did you know that we can regrow teeth now?
I'm sorry, what?
We're there, bro. All right. Teeth.
We're so back.
We're so back. Teeth are keratin, right? Like fingernail shit, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's like the core structure, and then all the minerals like calcium and shit that's in your diet.
It's like almost bone.
Mouth rocks, right?
Mouth rocks, yeah.
Now, it's not public, all right? And I know we talked about the bacteria mouthwash that prevents cavities. That's a thing. But now we can actually regrow teeth. And very soon, it will start to come in public products. They are taking the keratin. I forget if it's out of sheep or goat. But they're taking the hair, extracting all the keratin, and making it into toothpastes that when you use, adds a layer of sticky keratin to your teeth, and then the minerals from your food when you eat adhere, all the calcium build upon the keratin scaffolding, and over time your teeth regrow naturally.
Now wait, is this a thing of like if you've already lost the tooth?
Let's say I don't know if you could start with a 0, like an empty socket, but
if you had like a you had to shave it down
decay.
to a nubbin or something. Yeah.
Yeah, like your teeth are all fucking jacked. You can regrow the missing teeth portion.
Crazy.
And it's still in like trial phases, but it realistically should be public in our lifetime.
It's pretty cool.
Very
big
cool.
If true.
Gives me hope. Now that we finished our speedrun portion that we did not speedrun whatsoever, how was your week?
I mean, you got through about 2 to 3 weeks of information in less than 45 minutes. So I'd say that's a win.
It's been chaotic out there.
It's crazy. There's so much shit.
Crazy, dude.
So let me tell you about our meeting today. So
run it.
I went in there.
Wait. Give the setup. What is the problem that is making you go before the Historical Housing Society?
Yeah,
yes.
Before making us to go before the council, if you will.
Yes.
So we want to get the siding on our house done.
Gotcha.
But we live in a historical society or a historical district, which we knew when we moved in. We knew there'd be some roadblocks and we'd have to work with them. Didn't know so much to the extent of what it is. We knew that there'd be some limitations, and we're open to that. We didn't know the extent of the limitations on, like, the main thing where we kind of learned was that if it can be repaired, it has to be repaired. If it's shot and it, like, you can't fix it, you replace it preferably with something of the same material or something that is
time appropriate.
Yeah. Like there is great things to be said about the modern advancements of, building materials such as like hardy board, which is one of the only things they approve besides just wood. Hardy board is more expensive. It's a compressed fiber thing, but it's like more fire resistant, and it holds paint a lot longer than wood does. So like when you have a big ass house with like multiple stories, it's expensive to pay someone to come out every so often and paint your fucking house, like every 8 years or some shit, for some people. Or you just, you can not do that, and then your house looks like shit on the block compared to everyone else's, which in a historical district, that's also important for them to like see maintenance.
I just paint my house with the blood of my enemies. Trespassers.
Honestly, that's the way you should do it. But Steven, you're not in a historical district, so you don't have regulations on that.
True.
So we got this contractor who made us a bid to do the hardy board because that's what we would prefer. There's a lot of wood that's rotted on the house, so we don't want to, like, technically, yes, we could pay someone to pull off, 40% of the wood and replace it. And it would probably end up costing us less if they, get underneath the current boards and they find that, it's not that bad underneath here. I'm sure it is. With all the gaps and shit in the woods, in the wood, I'm sure it looks fucking terrible.
Sure.
We've already seen, like, it's old, it's drafty, it's 115 years old. The siding hasn't been done since. So they have this new material, and for the most part, it's fine, except the width of the reveal of the board, like the siding part that you see, is wider than the current pieces on there. Right now we have about a 5-inch reveal, and we want to put up this hardy board that has about a 7-inch reveal. So it's just
that's like, about a 2-inch difference.
It's pretty big. So the thing is, they make smaller reveal that we could use, but the product you're paying by the footage. So smaller width means more product. It means they need more boards to do the house.
About 20% more.
It's exactly right. So
it's like $5,000 difference, maybe.
It's a lot. Oh boy, it's a lot more than that.
Fuck
so
that.
I mean, I don't know if it's necessary to give all the numbers, but I mean, the quoted price that we're looking at is like $90,000.
$90,000 clams.
Yeah. And then
that's like
if we were to do
90 clam bakes,
if we were to do the more accurate pieces, it would be over 120.
Damn, so they want
which
to
is
double
just
tax
not.
That's
just not in. We can't, like, we're barely gonna make the other one work. And we're pulling every reserve that we could possibly pull to make that happen. I was about to say,
that's impressive. You can even make the first
because number. It's because Mom's got, the IRA, whatever. She's got an account. She's got somebody, but it's like, we can't touch it for so long. And then you got to pay a fuck lot of taxes on it. It's crazy. The rules are wild. I don't know all the details on how it works, but I know it kind of sucks.
Sure.
But that's the thing of, like, this is going to be the biggest thing we have to do to this house. We want to get it done. We want to get it done right. And also, we don't want to have to keep fucking with it every, like, 8 to 10 years, having our house under construction. Like, okay, we'll replace these pieces of wood, and then, okay, it's cool for a while. And then you're chasing, like, okay, now it's rotting over here. Let's replace these. And then it's rotting over here now. Let's replace this. And then over the time that we, spend at this house, the time of the mortgage, by the time that's up, we're going to spend that money anyways. It's just going to be spaced out over time. And it's like, we have this opportunity to pull this thing from the account or whatever, and we can use it. So let's fucking do that and get it over with so we can pay it back and get it done. That's our proposal. The problem is, not only are the boards wider than they would like, but also because the pieces have to be a certain width to match up with the friezes and the corbels and stuff to match the rest of the framing in the house. That we're not gonna get rid of all the trim. We're gonna keep the trim as much as possible to keep it nice.
I feel like people don't understand the context. Like, I wish they had a Google, or we wouldn't do this, but a Google Earth
just
view
dox me,
of your street, because like, bro, your street isn't like slumming it, but it's Detroit. Like, there's some slum shit right down the street. Like, you guys clearly are taking care of your shit better than most people.
That's basically the argument that we came to him with, was like, we love this house. We want to work with you. We want to do this right. We want to preserve it. We appreciate the concept.
Yeah.
We also need to preserve the house. And
eat dinner tomorrow.
It's like, if we can't afford to do that, then it's not going to get done.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? If we can't afford to do that, then it's not going to happen. And the only other option after that is that eventually, it becomes too much to tolerate, and the wood rots away, and then we leave.
Did you ever find out what the consequences are? Like, if you say fuck the historical society, is it fines? Like, can they do shit?
I did not find that out, but what I did see were people who I think this is where we kind of got off on a good bit here. So we get to the meeting, and our contractor's there with us, which was great, super helpful, because he knows all the technical shit that we are kind of like. He's told us, and like, we've talked to the historical people, but like, he can, he's worked with historical districts before. So he leans into us and he says, the first couple people in front of us are all there because they didn't pull permits. They didn't request permission. They're also in these historical districts. They're basically coming before as like, hey, you fucked amnesty. Up. Yeah.
How many people were wearing pajamas?
Actually, only one guy was wearing sweatpants, but he was like 80. So
okay, he gets.
It's like he gets the pass for sure.
At the Justice Center, if it's above, if you have 50% of people wearing pants, you're doing pretty good. It's a good day. I wore a button down shirt. I didn't know what the vibes were. I already know. You guys are like on your shit. They know you care. They should get you through.
So that's, by the time we got to them, we had all these pictures of the house. Like, we sent in a lot of pictures, and I think they really wanted to give it to us, but they were conservative, and they said we were going to suggest this if they were to like, kind of err towards like maybe no, we were going to say like, hey, can you please like just come to the house? These pictures aren't great. Like, let us show you, see it in person, and then you'll understand. But one guy actually said like,
strategy.
Would it be crazy if we came to your house, and because I would really love to see this in person to get a final judgment on it? And we're like, yes, please, absolutely. Like, we're very cool with that.
And then you planted claymores all around your house and waited.
Yeah. Now the problem this is my conspiracy theory.
Mm-hmm.
Is that the only reason they didn't give us the go ahead right away is because one of the other people in that room was the first person that they heard that day. Ooh. After your hearing's done, you can leave. You don't have to be there.
Ooh.
This guy stuck around. Ooh. And they got him on. He replaced a bunch of windows and like the framing and trim around the windows. He did a bunch of shit without pulling any permit.
Not up to code.
He actually brought in a contractor that did the windows, and they grilled him, and they're like, how come you didn't pull the permits? He's like, well, we have this girl in our office who's supposed to call and find out if we need a permit or not. And I don't know who she talked to, but they were like, we don't need a permit. And they're like, you've done work in before, right? And he was like, yeah. And he was like, so your company should know that you need a permit. You guys, you just said you do all this. He's like, oh, we do a lot. We do, tens of thousands of houses every year. And it's like, okay,
fucking idiot.
That's crazy. Yeah. Then like, you guys should know this by now.
Guys, I have 10,000 reasons to know better.
Yeah. Yeah. So they're grilling him, on that. And this guy like, okay, I did. So the windows have been done already and I can't take that back. Like, I'd love to replace them in the future. I can't afford to do that right now. But what I would need to do is replace the siding. So he was also petitioning for hardy board. It sounded like he didn't have anyone with him for that. But he was, he was trying to like, from what I understood, he was trying to replace a lot.
He was trying to sneak shit through the system, bro.
Yeah, and
Meanwhile, you guys were upfront and transparent.
So this guy's like sitting to the side of us, and he like just like watching the rest. Like I don't know if he was like going to fight him or like I don't know what the fuck was gonna. I don't know. So, anyways,
he was trying to recover after getting his dick kicked in for an hour.
Yeah,
and then he's watching you guys get through.
I noticed this too. His partner, I guess his wife or girlfriend, whoever, was with him during his hearing, but then she went out to the car. He stayed inside.
Oh, hell yeah. That's funny.
So it was just a weird energy coming from homie.
Yeah.
So I don't know, because they did bring up like, this is similar to the first case. They were like, we use this as precedent, but
when you got done, you should have winked at him and said, now that's how you do it.
Now this is weird. So this is weird, right? So right after our hearing is done, he leaves.
Okay.
And then we go down and like, we're talking to our contractor out in the hallway. We're taking our time. We get downstairs. He's standing outside.
What the fuck?
He walks up to us like, hey, if you guys have any trouble with them or you want to get into like a legal situation with them.
Oh my God.
Like, let me know. And we're like, absolutely will do. Like, I see his address on the agenda. I know where to find you.
Hey, if you want to fuck up your life and your housing way more, please give me a call.
Yeah, it's like, oh my God. Like, this is not...
It's a tempting offer, sir,
then,
but...
What did he say? He said something that I didn't understand, and I kind of just went, yeah.
Sounds good, yeah, bro.
It was something like accepting a Greek gift or accepting a gift from Greece or Greeks or something, and I was like, I didn't
get... to Trojan horse the council?
Yeah, it's like... And I was like, what? In what context is that? I don't...
The Greek gift is a chess move that happens when a player sacrifices a bishop for the h7 pawn as white or the h2 pawn as black. I don't know what the fuck. The Greek gift sacrifice.
I mean, I think it was a Trojan horse reference, but like...
That's crazy.
It was just...
It's like, you want to get in my class action lawsuit against the Historical Society?
But wait, hold on a second.
The Trojan horse was the Romans, right?
That's exactly what I was just going to say.
Bro, great minds, bro.
I know, said to be used by the Greeks during the Trojan War to enter the city of Troy and win the war. So it wasn't...
Not the greatest minds, bro. Not the greatest minds.
Not the greatest minds. But that's exactly what I thought, too. I thought it was like a Greece versus Rome thing, but it was different. So, that's...
annoying historical distinction.
To fucking, yeah. So I was just like, okay.
Same losers.
Yeah, I thought that shit was wild.
That's funny, though.
So, yeah, I think that, I mean, I don't know what their vibes on it are, but I definitely think when they come out, they're gonna be able to see that, like, hey, a lot of this shit's fucked up.
I feel like you made it through pretty unscathed.
We made a strong case. I think they're definitely on our side for the most part. I think I understand the idea of, if we we set the precedent that replacing it with wood is best for the historical thing. But also, there is something to be said about the technological advances of new materials. So there's, and we told her, like, we want to preserve as much of all the trim and shit. Like, we're taking hits around the windows and stuff because they have this decorative, dental work on it and stuff. And it's like, we're not trying to fuck that up. Like, especially on the facade. Like, we want the front of the house to look right.
You'll be good. It's just
don't want fucking holes in my house. I got squirrels and shit living in my walls.
Critters of all kinds.
It's crazy.
Secret entrances. All right. Any final memes? Here's what, this didn't go exactly as planned. I wanted to talk about art tonight.
But then Charlie Kirk died?
Then Charlie Kirk died. But
Charlie Kirk ruined art.
As one does. Here's my issue. I feel like this is an artist issue, but it tends to happen more with like entertaining artists, like creative writers or like podcasters. People. Podcast is probably the biggest one. There's a thing that happens when you're busy making stuff. You're not eating enough art.
Yes.
You're not taking enough shit in. Right now, that's kind of my problem. I'm working too much on things and I'm not consuming enough, but I'm not missing the consumption. I'm just not enjoying that much stuff right now. And I just want to make things and I don't have enough time. Like I'm at my lowest ever, not lowest ever, but I'm at a low production rate. And I was actually talking to friend of the show, Sacred Cuts Collage on Instagram.
Yeah.
And they had very encouraging words that, I'm aware of, but it feels good to hear every now and then, that all of life is part of the process of making things, even when it's slow or whatever. And I used to completely reject that type of thinking, because all that fucking matters to me is the finished product, is the digital files that no one will see stored on multiple hard drives in a drawer. That's like what matters most to me. And I realize the folly, and I do understand that, everything you're living through is also part of the process. And I'm trying to find better balance with it, but I'm pretty frustrated because I feel like if I had the time, I would be producing a lot more, or like a lot. My hands would be a lot busier or messier with the good stuff,
Yeah, it's a tough one.
Where you at with art?
I do want to make more stuff. I was just talking to my niece about this before she left. Is that like especially now that the season's slowing down. I think last year I was in a really rough place, and I was just not. I probably would have been good for me to be doing art, but I was not in a mental place to get myself there to do it. So that's kind of where that was. This year, I'm a lot more motivated to get back into doing stuff. I kind of feel like drawing again, and I absolutely want to make more books this year. It's fun, and it's enjoying to me, it's kind of meditative in that way. And the end result is, pretty cool and tactile, and, it's something that you can hold and use. So that's like very satisfying for me. So I definitely want to get there. I'm figuring out where I'm trying to figure out where my time is going to be this winter, like how I'm going to divvy that up, because there is, as opposed to the last couple winters, there is a lot of work to be done this year. And we have extra people on hand. Time. Dude, it is wild how quickly shit's kind of popping off. And, to be fair, we're still
Fortune 500 in a year.
It's, we're getting into some bigger spaces that will be helpful during the winter months, but it's still the winter months. So it still makes it a little bit harder to sell the cold things that we sell. But
can I throw this out real quick?
Sure.
I am having massive deja vu because I feel like this isn't necessarily a bad thing. I feel like I can remember having this conversation, whether it's 3 or 4 times, as we go into winter. We have the post-season art Renaissance Ricky combo. Now, my issue with
is that I never pull through.
That's part of it, but the underlying truth is that as much as I respect your artistic talent, at your core, I think you're a bit of a dirty redliner.
I start something and then I never finish it.
No, remember, this was your theory that I maybe built upon, but that some people are momentum artists and other people are redliners.
Yeah.
You dip your toes into art when you hit red lines to like release steam, but you don't like stay engaged. You're a bit of a dirty redliner. That's all I'm saying.
Yep. No, I agree. I do agree.
So now that the busy seasons, there's a light at the end of the tunnel. Like what? I feel like I always want to push you to be a momentum man like myself. But like, what is like the most realistic, like enjoyable way for you to do it in the off season?
I think for me during the off season, my ideal schedule is like 4 days a week of working. So I have 3 consecutive days off to, especially for I'm mostly thinking about bookmaking with this, because bookmaking can be, unless you have multiple projects going on at once, which I have done in the past, but then it becomes a lot of more work. There's a lot of start-stop with like waiting for glue to dry or waiting for something to sit in a press and, you'd be like waited for a little while. So there is some stopping and starting with that where it's like, okay, I'm going to get this done today and then tomorrow it'll be ready that I can do this next step. So having like 3 days consecutively where I can focus on that. And that's not to say that in the other 4 days I wouldn't be able to touch it at all. It's just less convenient. It's less of I can schedule this and be ready for it.
Can I be the pushing, annoying podcast version of myself?
Steven, you always are.
I try. I think the book stuff is like actually such a cool craft. Very, very cool stuff. Do you feel... I feel like I know the answer based on our past conversations, but things change. I'm curious. Mm-hmm. Do you feel like you have... Because I feel this, and I get annoyed or more confused that artists such as yourself that I respect their talent and capability, do you ever feel like you have like great truths to express, or like the need to release something more emotionally, like, deeper's not the right word, but like fundamental or something?
I guess so. I feel like I
need to scream all day, every day.
I feel like I get enough options to outlet that in a way that is enough for me.
How so?
Like, even just like communicating to, with like friends and coworkers and stuff like that's a really baseline one that I feel like I get a lot of positive response from.
That's good stuff, but it's like a soothing balm.
I hear. I know that's not what you meant, and I'm trying to elaborate on it in a way that feels true to my experience. Because I'm thinking about it, like I hear what you're saying about like feeling the need to express a thing, and I do get that. And that is the times when I feel the most like making something, doing something. Usually, I do end up spending a lot more time on designing something or making a concept for it, and then never pulling through. Like I get enough from that tides me over until the next thing comes. It's like
the next red line.
Is like, by the next time I have the energy and the motivation and the time allotted to do it, I've moved on to something else.
But also, I feel like you do, you knowing me, you know kind of what I think of it. But in general, I think it's kind of a more neutral thing. But I feel like you also, when you do engage, you kind of engage in emotionally shielded work.
Mm-hmm.
Where like,
maybe it's not so much even that I have. I don't know. I guess I see what you mean from that perspective of like a message of some sorts, but I don't really have. I don't know. I guess that's not really been a driving force of the reason I liked, even like starting drawing. It was mostly because I wanted to see this thing. I wanted this to be. I saw a thing and I wanted to
make it exist.
Yeah, exactly.
I feel like you feel the release, but you don't show it. Or like your goal isn't to show the expression, it's to feel it through the process.
That's you're nailing it.
I'd be curious what it would look like showing it from you. Because I think you're technically more talented than I am.
I've struggled with that in the past of conveying it. I think this is where it's starting to come full circle. With our conversation about like prefacing things and like wanting to make sure the communication is clear. If I want to express a particular feeling or thought, I want it to not be
mistake.
I don't want it to be open to, subjective discourse of like, well, what does he mean by this? It could mean that, it could be that, it could be like, that's not, it should be, I feel like if I want to get a message across, I want to get a message across. And I want it to be concise. So the problem lies there with unless I make something that's more literal, like that stream we did and we never released. If I make something that's more literal, it feels disingenuous to what I typically enjoy making. I don't get as much of a thrill out of it. Like, it's fun as a meme or as a bit, or it feels like I don't like the literal thing. It's like I struggle somewhat with the creativity of, or maybe it's not even the creativity with feeling like I can convey something. I can give something subjective while conveying something objective. And I'm not comfortable in my ability to do that. And that's not really why I don't do it, but that's definitely a dissuading point of it. Of like, if I'm going to try to convey something, I feel like it feels kind of cringe sometimes because of how literal I end up making it look. And then I'm just like, that's not what I wanted to do here. Or I'm using other imagery to convey what I want. And like, if I'm going to put my name on it as something that I'm, putting out, then it's,
going through my old stuff is so fucking like embarrassing. Like every once in a while there's a gem, but I feel like you have to, like, if you were interested in that direction, there's a lot of more mistakes than hits. But I feel like the answer is to go for vibes, and not saying this is what you want or like what you should do or whatever, but I feel like people with that problem who want to go that way, the answer or solution is more vibe based. It's like to give, like, I don't want someone to know the exact message of something if I even have a message, but I want them to feel the vibe or direction of something. Also, titling can be super like manipulative for good or bad, of like pushing that direction.
Yeah, true.
But I feel like
well, then titling it would mean that I publish it in some way.
See, this is the part I just don't understand. Like, my cousin is a writer, English major, poet, and I've read like 2 or 3 things of him. I've every time I've seen him my entire life, we've talked about art. Like, that is our connection to this day. And I've read almost nothing he's ever wrote. And I don't, and we've had conversations about publishing, of like being anonymous, just putting it out there. I just don't understand. I feel like, it's not, because it's not necessarily what you want, but I feel like people who do want it, like, I think of Sarah working on art. I don't know if technically she surpasses me, but she's incredibly technically proficient, and she doesn't make things because there's like anxiety or fear or overthinking. I feel like you said, the creative part doesn't come as easily to you because there's like a mental thing happening. Yeah. My mom's been having me teach her how to paint recently, and we've been like playing around with stuff, and she has like anxiety issues and like can't like wrap her mind around the idea of like free expression. And I feel like none of it is like art based. It's all thought based stuff happening. Like, I feel like if I could have a person who is struggling with those things, if I could have their attention and they were motivated, I feel like over like 5 days, we could like break through all of that shit, and none of it would at all be related to art itself or directly. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, it's all like thinking problem stuff, which is harder but solvable. Or like,
maybe this is something we can work on together, because actually I have a proposition that I could use your help with. I'm
down.
A project. I think I've decided for sure I want a face tattoo.
Bet.
But I don't know what. I just like I want something there.
I can kind of picture it already.
I
don't know what it is though.
Like,
it's a distinguishing mark
around the eye placement, And that's as far as I've gotten. Because everything I've looked
Classy
at...
Tyson.
Yeah, it's like everything I've looked at is like there's so much tribal shit and like stuff like this. Like that's not the vibe at all. It's like I've seen some stuff and it's like so much of it's kind of cringy and it's like I don't want to fucking do all this shit. So I would like to enlist your help. Maybe that's a good another attempted stream idea is you and I sit down and try to design a face tattoo. I'll get some choice pictures of my
I'm
my face.
Absolutely down for that because I'm also still trying to finalize my neck piece. That's like I've held off for so long. I'm 3 tattoos away from it. We're doing one more blackout sesh that I'm not looking forward to, and then neck tattoo and face tattoo design.
Sick.
But this is like my last question of the night. Feel free to disregard or take it where you want. I feel like if you sit me down at a table at any time throughout my entire life, with minor exceptions of like too fucked up, too tired, too like mentally deranged, if you sit me down outside of those times at a table with a piece of paper and a pencil, I will want to write or draw or make something, right?
Yes.
And most of the time it's not going to be that good or that important. But if, let's say, I'm sat down, the Mr. Saul, fucking Jigsaw comes out, and he gives me my
Mr.
paper.
Saul. Sorry, go ahead.
He gives me my paper and my pencil, and Mr. Saul puts a fucking bear trap on my head, and if I don't create a good piece of art, it explodes. I feel like if I'm about to die, or I know my existence is ending, which our lives are always ending, right?
Yeah.
I would want whatever is the last thing I make to be meaningful to some extent, even if it often is not. But like, I feel the need to like say something or make something that someone else feels. And I don't quite understand other people not feeling that way. Like, do you feel like if you knew you're going to die in an hour and you were isolated from all people and Mr. Saul puts on the bear trap and says you have 1 hour, would you want to make something like that?
I think the conditions are rough, but I think I could. I definitely do. When I always have like at least a lined like notepad in my backpack or something. Whenever I'm at work, and there have been events and days this year where it's like it's rained out, but like we can't close up shop early, and I'll whatever other thing I can do, wipe down the counter so many times. I'll bring a notebook and I will draw like landscape surrounding shit. Like I'll start to do that because I can't not just be doing something. And I do enjoy that. When I get the
I bet
time,
you enjoy it more than I do.
It's a bit of, because I see it as like it's an island. It's like nothing that I'm doing in this moment of time is going to be, it's non-canonical. It's not like this isn't something that I'm going to try to finish later on. Like, and I know that about myself.
In a drawer.
Yeah. It's like, it's just something that I am doing now because it feels good to do it in that moment. Because I know that I have the allotted time to do it, to the point where it actually, has been frustrating when I'm like working on something and I start to feel like, oh, this is actually coming out kind of cool and I'm liking the way this looks. And then someone walks up and orders something and I'm like, oh, like, oh, come on, man. So, which is not the way I am with service shift. So,
but the question would be, if you were your loved one at the end of that hour, your loved ones never would see you again. Would you want that piece of art to mean something? Or like, would you want someone to be able to like feel the intention or to feel?
I mean, yeah, maybe in hindsight, but that wouldn't be a motivational factor. I mean, I don't know. I feel like that wouldn't be I definitely feel like I've been put on the spot to like doodle something before. And I always want it to be good. Like, I always want it to not be, I want it to be a good representation of me and what I can do. Yeah.
You're gone, and all they'll ever see is this one piece of paper.
Right.
That survived you.
I get that. I get that point. It's like, that's where it's like the emotional, like, messaging aspect of it. That's definitely not what I get to, like where I start at. I mean, I might get there after
but what
figuring
if it was just
out
something
like
beautiful, like that didn't have. I'm not necessarily like
right. I get what you're saying. Of like the first thing I thought of is like one of the things I go to when I doodle right off the bat is usually I start with like self portraits. Just because I feel like in grade school, that was one of that was one of the first things we did was like, kind of do self-portraits, do something, do a little stylize this, stylize that. And then, by the time you realize it, like you've been drawing for like 15, 20 minutes and like you get your hands are warmed up and you're feeling something, ready to do something. Or maybe it takes off and turns into something else. And I feel like that's kind of how I have always approached drawing in the way of drawing in particular, because that's mostly what I have done is like, I will start with, just putting some lines down and then kind of figuring it into something.
I feel like this is a very evasive answer.
What I'm getting to is like the meaning of something doesn't arrive until after I'm like at least a quarter of the way or halfway into something of like, what am I trying to convey with this now? What is the vibe doesn't exist at all until I start getting some lines down, and then I'm figuring out what it means while I'm working it out. Like I'm congested. And then by, 15, 20 minutes into drawing, now my nose is running and the snot vibes are on the paper. It's there. It just takes a minute to warm up and come out.
I do know what you're getting at. If I reduce it one more level, if all that survived you was the piece of paper, would you want, whether it's your loved ones or the world, would you want them to know how you felt or what you thought?
Yes, for sure. Yes, I do. The point I was trying to make is that I probably wouldn't have thought of that purpose until asked. That wouldn't have been that. I don't think that would have been a consideration in that moment. Yes, I would, but would not have been a thought process of like, what do I do with this? Where do I go?
Why are you being like over thoughtful on the hypothetical, or because it doesn't occur to you that's what the paper's meant or could be?
That I'm saying that's not how I approach it. Now, the difference is when I make books, I'm extremely considerate beforehand of what are the vibes of this? What is the aesthetic I'm trying to get across? What do I want? What's the emotion I want someone to feel when they see this book? I'm extremely conscious of that while I'm even concepting the idea of it, thinking about what paper I have or what I want for it. Like, I'll go shop for shit because I don't have anything that fits the thing that I want to use.
I very
Whereas
much
with drawing and like media in that sense, I don't approach it in that way.
All right, next question. Would you rather eat a turtle stew full of nice, supple, warm, soft, tasty turtle meat, or would you rather eat a turtle shell? Cold.
I'm trying to...
I would appreciate an answer.
I'm sorry. I was trying to picture where this metaphor is going to go. I think I'll take the soup, please.
You take the soup. Now, when I think of a book, I'm thinking that's more of a shell, and maybe the meaningful writing inside a book that expresses the warmth of feeling and expression
You wouldn't
and emotion.
need a book, would you?
I think more of that is the meat, the turtle meat. I appreciate bookmaking. It's very cool. Mm-hmm. There is an art to it, but it is
you appreciate what's in the book more.
Yeah, I like if we care about what
that's a perspective problem.
Loved ones.
I can't fix that.
If we care about what our loved ones would see on the piece of paper in death, this isn't not just like you, it's just in general, I don't get why more people don't feel that in life, whether it's like the internet, the open world, our loved ones, in general. I feel like a need to constantly be putting shit onto the paper and to like, I don't even know most of the time who's seeing it or what the fuck they got from it, but I feel a genuine need to express shit that I don't get from making, even if it is a beautiful item that's crafted thoughtfully with grace and attention to detail and intricate, and it is a form of art in and of itself. I see it as like an emotionally shielded form of expression. It's not that there's zero expression, but there's not as much of that beautiful turtle meat of like passionate expression.
Now, I think it's interesting because from your perspective, you don't see the turtle meat, but are you saying that you refuse to acknowledge that someone could see the book as turtle meat and not just a shell?
No, because I think I do genuinely appreciate it, but it's going to be, it's not there to the same extent as often to as many people. And I do genuinely think most people who make a more craft-based art, their art, it's not that they're not talented, and I don't like truly see the beauty in it, but there's not the same kind, I don't know if it's kind or degree, of like true self-expression. I'm not saying it can never be, or that some people don't find it to be that way, but I don't think it tends to be. And I think part of the intention is
I'm not here to please the masses.
Do you think that would that be truth?
I'm here to please myself.
I'm not saying it wouldn't be most pleasing, but do you think that would be, would you rather your your loved ones if all that survived was the piece of paper or the book you bound that has nothing written in it?
Listen, if I had time, I'd need more than an hour. But if I could craft
unlimited time locked in a room with the bear trap, do you give them a piece of paper that you express something, or do you give them an empty book?
I would give them the book. I feel like that's more representational of who the item itself, I think, is more representational of who I am and what it's the function and form. It's things that I enjoy the balance of, that I think for my personal tastes, I find much more like I can appreciate
satisfaction.
Yeah, it's a satisfaction thing, but it's also I appreciate the craftsmanship. I appreciate like when in other people's books and stuff, like I can see it and I go, wow, it's really cool. In a similar way to how I look at artists and I say that, wow, that's really cool. I think the difference in my head is, mostly it's function. That
I have to,
I know you have opinions on that, but I feel like that's, for me, that's something that I consider. And that is meaningful to me, is that it's not, and I'm not saying it's better to have something that's functional, but
why wouldn't you say that?
Because I don't believe that to be 100% true all the time. I would say
100% true all the time.
I think,
but I'm still going to argue. I'm still going to argue my fucking point.
I think for me, it's what I would prefer to produce. I feel better after having made that. I feel more accomplishment. I feel more stress relief. I feel like I will say all of the drawings that I've made that I'm like, wow, that was pretty good. Sometimes I can look back at them and like they stay in a pile in a portfolio somewhere, and I don't look at them. Or if I'm ever looking for something like, oh, I wonder if I still had like something, whatever, I'm cleaning my closet out and I see it and I'm like, oh, that's cool. But I have my books on display in my house.
That's true. But do you feel like that could be there's not enough turtle meat and too much shell? And then the follow-up question...
Steven, maybe I like the shell. Maybe that's it. Maybe I'm just a shell-chewing pervert.
You might be, but here's the next question. If all that survives is the paper or the book, and I could, if I'm being 100% honest and charitable, if let's say
please shower me in your charity.
If I'm gonna be good faith here, okay, let's say I'm Mr. Saw and I put the bear trap on you.
I mean, I'm telling you, I'm gonna be honest with you, Steven, that's kind of what it's starting to feel like.
and I set it for 1 hour, and then I leave the room, and
you leave a turtle shell and a bowl of soup on the corners of the room.
No. I give you the paper and all the book building supplies, and I give you more than an hour so you can build your stupid fucking book. And I go outside of the room and I wait till I hear the bear trap pop. And let's say I go into the room and your guts are sprayed all over the fucking walls, right? And on the table, you have a perfect, immaculate book. Nothing in it. Although it could be more meaningful if you put a little turtle meat in the fucking book. I could see that being incredibly beautiful and meaningful. Like, truly. I do.
Thank you for granting me this.
I get that.
This admission of this little bit of land that I can step onto here. Get out of this hot water you've put me in.
I do get that, but if don't you find it a little bit selfish and cruel not to have put some words in there for me? Don't you feel like it's a little cruel not to give me a little turtle meat? Not to have expressed like a true feeling instead of something that's just as beautiful as I think the book is. I would be sad that you didn't say something.
I mean,
I would treasure the book, but I would always flip through the empty pages in mourning.
You know, and maybe that's what it is. Maybe that's more meant to be.
Turtle shells and empty books.
Just turtle shells and empty books. That's the pod. That's exactly. Yeah. Stupid. I think that the idea of leaving something behind for someone, I think what that means to me is, in general, this is not just this art thing, this is in general.
Okay.
It's this is your burden now. This is for you. You take this and you carry this with you into the future. Or throw it in the trash. That works too. But it is your thing to do with it, what you do with it. The argument I make for function is that there is possibility within that book. You can use it for fucking anything.
It's annoying how beautiful I think that is.
You hate that I'm right, and that's okay.
I feel like there's a balance between us that's probably...
Oh, for sure.
A better answer.
Now, I'm going to grill you for a second, Stephen.
I'm used to hot water. I can handle it.
Yeah, I know. You're always simmering in the hot dog water. This is a conversation that's come up many times with us. And I wonder, because very much of it, what it feels like to me is you saying, I don't understand how other people can feel this way and be this way. And that makes you upset in a degree. And I want to know,
absolutely,
have you talked to your therapist about this?
Yeah. And my therapist fired me. No, I'm just, but kinda.
Oh, well, that sucks.
Well, this is a while ago.
Oh, okay.
You remember that? I saw it for 8 years or whatever.
Yeah, I thought you had a new one.
No. I would never.
Oh. I can't cheat on my therapist even after they fire me.
I'm a one therapist type of man. So.
I did that already. That was part of my life. I'm done with that chapter of my life.
Remind me, what was the question? That I'm annoyed other people don't feel it?
Yeah, when other people don't have the same urge to make and create art that is not similar to yours, but in a fashion that you feel, you approve of is exactly the right terminology.
I think there's a couple.
It does make you upset.
Yeah. But I think there's a couple things going on, and I think at least partially I have good reason. I think I don't know how many things I'm going to list. At least
I mean, I feel like you would, of course you think you feel like you have good reason. Otherwise you would not feel it. Yeah.
Well, if I'm logically consistent, which I always am.
Which to be fair, we're memeing, but yeah, you usually are. You will go off on tangents sometimes, but you come back down.
I try to be. I think I probably struggle with living more than a lot of people, which I think is part of it for sure. I think that's the me portion, and it's has allowed me to cope and understand life, whatever. And then I think the portion that's on other people is I think a lot of other people aren't really some of them fall into the category that life is easier, that they don't have the need. And then most of the people that tend to be my type of people are like fuck ups and dead or in jail. And it was because life was fucking hard to figure out and they weren't good at expressing it. And I think a lot of those people, and even the people that don't fall into quite that category, like, are afraid to express it or like repress expressing it or think it's too cringe or gay or whatever the fuck it is and don't. I think there's like a lot of like shame and fear shit. But
I definitely, I wanted to say I agree with you on that is a thing that exists. But the point of it being that when people do have outlets for that, maybe living isn't as, or being alive isn't as hard for some people as others, and can't really change that about somebody. So
sure,
they can either fake the funk or they can find an outlet that works for them. It just may not be the thing
approvable.
Approvable. Yeah, it's not on the dean's list.
But and there are, like, I want people who are doing well, like, that not have to, like, feel shitty and make things. Like, good for them that they don't feel that way or whatever. But right. I feel like if I sit down and talk to most people throughout my life, on average, spinning of the roulette wheel, if I sit down with most people, they have plenty they're struggling with, or like that shit is, even most people are doing well, there are like things we all genuinely struggle with, where I don't feel like there's like a lack of people who, if they knew how, or if they were like being honest, had a lot they would want to, if they were in the bear trap and had an hour, they would leave something on the fucking paper in their death, but their entire life they've left every fucking book empty. And that's like extremely dissatisfying to me. And like, I think most people live to regret that to some extent. Like, how many stupid old people are like, oh, I didn't say I love you, I work too much. Like, shit like that. Those are
fucking boomers, and they're terrible.
It's like human condition shit. All the Zoomers are going to do it, too.
Yeah, I don't disagree with you on that. That absolutely is a thing. I think it's... I don't know. I feel like if you're aware that the person is... Like, I don't see it as an empty book. It's just
but they don't even make a book.
Right. But what my point, what I'm getting to is, when I make a book, I don't see it as an empty book. It's a book. I made the book. That's what I set out to do. That's what I did. I didn't make the book with the ideas of, I have made some books with like, this would be cool if I did this in here. But that's not what I set out to do. I came here to make the book because it's something I wanted to make. I did that, and now I'm done with it. If I decide to do something with it in the future, I might. I always can still. But once I put something in there, I lose that ability to do it in the future too.
Isn't that the fear part?
Kinda, but it's still the ability of possibility. It's like I can make another book, I can do another thing, and I can, I can make something else that.
Wouldn't that be an argument to fill the fucking book?
I guess so. But if I enjoy the making of the book more than the filling of the book, then it seems counterproductive to fill the book.
maybe. It depends on what you fill it with. But like,
it doesn't matter what I fill it with if the enjoyment that if I'm having a worse time, if I'm stressing, if I'm not getting the endorphins and feelings that I would get if I just made another book, and instead I spend more time on filling the book in a way that doing something, making myself feel forced to create something and put something on these pages. Well, if it's more stressful for me to do that, why would I do it?
I'm not disagreeing. We might have to separate. You might be a true redliner Buddhist samurai, okay? And I do accept that because I think you are honest that you would probably rather have the book than the paper you filled. I very much, I think, can accept that about who you are, right? I'm not like trying to fight that. But if we're separating you from most people, I feel like, fuck, where was I going? I feel like most people.
I get that. That's the argument. I was trying to make.
Don't you feel like you have don't you feel like they're like true things you have to express? Because maybe you don't, because you're kind of this different archetype, but I feel like most people, even if it's like repressed or like hard to coax out of them or whatever. Coax, okay, fucking coax cable them.
Coax.
Yeah. I feel like most people have like very strong feelings they would want to release before they fucking explode. If I put a gun to a random stranger's head, they're gonna say something meaningful.
I don't think that's a good rule of thought, but
I do. It might be dumb as fuck, but they're gonna be like, "Oh, my fucking family! Oh, don't kill my parents! I'll become Bruce Wayne!" Like that's dumb shit.
That's some shit on what's Pulp Fiction. The next shit out of your mouth better be some
fucking funny.
Some good, yeah, because it's going on your tombstone. Yeah, that shit.
I feel like that's a good argument.
I get you. I get what you're saying, and I don't disagree with you, but also I'm just telling you now, it depends on what I'm doing, and I don't approach it that way. If we're separating other people, I agree that is absolutely a thing of like people are repressed and don't express themselves maybe as much as they could or should. But also, I think to the point of the fact that I'm existing and telling you this is proof enough that there are people who get that expression through, or get that sense of expression,
bro,
through
we're talking
other things.
3% of people. And then the next question is still,
what's that based on?
Life, bro. It's life.
It's the stats if you pulled from your ass of life.
If you read a book instead of just fucking making them.
Fucking read a book.
For real though, if you put a gun to 97% of people's heads, this is a true stat. If you put a gun to 97% of people's face,
based on the research that you do,
they're gonna get emotional. Okay.
Yes. Okay. You're right. You know what? You're right. I'll give you that. At least 90%.
You're the 3% that would like not get that emotional and try to come up with a reason it shouldn't happen. Okay. But here's my question.
The point isn't that you get emotional. It's that when pressed to make a thing, do you go in emotion first?
That's not the whole of what I'd be getting at, but I think most people, when they get into making honest shit, something emotional based is going to, even if it's just making very beautiful things, I feel like is the more shallow end. Not that it's like less valid inherently. But if you just left a beautiful portrait of someone or a beautiful landscape on the paper, that might be on the more like emotionally shallow end, but it could be incredibly moving, right?
Mm-hmm.
But here's my final question. The part, and I can understand you being the turtle shell book person, okay?
Mm-hmm.
But why do you feel, knowing everything you've been through, like your whole life, knowing fairly well, why do you think you don't have anything that you desperately need to express? Because there are, like you said, you like making the book, you want to make beautiful things, but why don't you feel the need to express anything desperately? That's the key part I don't understand.
I have an answer for that. I want to make sure I parse it correctly here. Give me just a moment.
Yeah.
I feel like the reason, concerning the desperateness of it, I feel like the reason I don't desperately don't desperately feel the need to express something is because, for the most part, I surround myself with people who get me. I only tend to stick around with people who get me, and I don't feel it desperate to show them, because I feel like they know. They know it at least, and know enough that I'm comforted in that. Or we share enough ideas and thoughts that I'm comforted with that. The need to express something, I feel like I get enough of self-expression through actions, like day-to-day shit. Moreover than conversation, things like the clothes I choose to wear and how I, fucking put my hair up that day, like whatever. I get a sense of expression from doing that. Whether or not it's taken in a certain way is less of a consideration, because I get the sense of I made a choice to present this way. The jewelry, different shit, the tattoos people have, I feel like those are a daily kind of what's the word? Not subconscious, but like it's a low-lying base level of expression that I feel enough satisfaction from, that when I do have something that is pressing, that I feel like I want to get off my chest, I then get enough. I get enough from this podcast, actually. Coming on here and having my turtle shell loving ways challenged does help me put into perspective of why am I choosing to die on this hill. And it helps me to put that into words that get it out. And even if our hundreds of thousands of listeners don't ever hear it, it's enough for me that I just worked it out for myself.
It's nice.
It's not a public message that needs, if it's a public message that needs to be shared and everyone needs to know this thing that happened or something that I did or whatever, like it's not, I don't have that. I'm not the news. I'm not, a forum. I'm doing it.
Just a guy, man.
I'm just a dude. I'm just out here.
I feel like I could do therapy, a podcast, go to the gym, and work on art every day. I feel like I'd have infinite more.
And that's sick. I mean, that's
it's miserable.
I feel like I was gonna say it feels like it's probably torturous, but having the
more people must feel it. I know people.
Oh, I'm sure
feels it this way though. It's like, but I don't feel
they're all lunatics and sociopaths. Sorry, no.
I think it's a range for sure. I think the people that tend to feel it in strong degrees, like myself, typically don't stay very free. But I think of the 90% of people, 97% of people, I put the gun to their face. They feel it to some degree too. Like,
yeah, of course.
Like fucking panic. Fight Club. Like Fight Club losers. Like the random office cubicle guy is feeling shit that like is not going anywhere. Like people
he's not expressing it in a any sort of way, let alone a healthy way. Yes.
And it's incredibly fucking annoying to me that there's not more turtle meat to stew in.
I think once again, this is not a problem of there's not enough turtle meat. It's that you look in a room that is, you look at a glass full of turtle meat and shells and you say this glass is half empty of turtle meat. And I say it's full of turtle. I think you need to see the shells for you seeing things as shells when they're not actually, they may not be shells. You just perceive them that way. I look at a book I made shit. And boy, there's a lot of turtle meat in that stew. I got a stew going.
If everyone in the world was fucking making books, I would probably be more satisfied with than the current ratio. Like, there's not a ton of people doing shit.
Yeah.
Like, I think the glass of this...
If everyone was making turtle shells...
Analogize? I'd still be frustrated, but...
you would at least accept it, but you'd still be hungry.
I think we both would agree, outside of this conversation, there's not a ton of people saying that much. There's a lot of complaining or like,
yeah, no, I get
talking
again.
About
I don't
their shit, but there's not a lot of like expression.
I don't disagree with you. I think part of that is also because, especially right now, you have the access of thousands of people who are expressing something that you might that you feel the need to express yourself. But if other people are doing it for you, you can get a sense of people get a sense of satisfaction.
That's true.
Out of that. So
there's truth
while
to that.
You have, technically have more people that are creating
engaging
content
in expression
than ever. Yeah. It's just maybe not like, it's fucking Instagram reels and TikToks, and it's not
it's like
something
buying
you can
and trading expression.
Yeah.
Like collecting.
So if pieces of artwork are turtle meat and books are turtle shells, what are TikTok reels?
I mean, TikTok reel could be beautiful art. It's just that's going to be such a low percentage of the time, right?
I feel like the bar is low. Don't get me wrong. I follow some trash content, and where it's like there's something that someone's made that brings me some enjoyment. I'm not saying that I'm judging it on. I'm definitely not judging it on is this art? it's entertainment. But in a subjective point of view, that's what art is in general, right?
Not necessarily. Well, we're also dividing between art and like true expression. Because the book could be art, is art, and I might not call it pure expression. Like some breakdancer, like Red Bull does the breakdancing competitions every year. It's like, it's a beautiful art of like a very superficial expression. Like there are people that do it that is pure expression, but 90% of the like B-boys or like breakdancing dudes, it's like you set it to a song. And it sounds like I just hate everything that's not like super emotional. But I know you would agree with me. 90% of it is not going to be like very authentic expression. It's
goofs beautiful. And gaffes and memes, and that's most of what's on online, and I get that. I feel that.
Yeah,
but if we are to look at from a perspective of they are producing something.
I still think it's better than
they are taking the time to create something. There are more people making something than there ever has
probably ever have been. Yeah, that's probably true.
Are they truly expressing themselves? No. But
I would, if I had to hazard a guess, I feel like it's probably about this. I feel like it's probably a pretty static percent of people throughout history that are like,
it's probably fair.
In my category,
I think there's got to be it's got to be a little bit higher because the access to the tools to do stuff, and the freedom to be able to do stuff. Yeah. But I do agree with you. Not enough people are expressing themselves in a period.
But I think the part that I find truly frustrating, this part we can loop and we can call it here, is I feel like as much as I believe you that you are kind of an abnormal archetype, that the beauty of the book itself in that pursuit is enough, I feel like knowing you truly, I feel like there are things that in the right circumstance or on the deathbed, I feel like you would passionately or desperately express. And I think most people in that circumstance, whatever it is, also feel that way. And I don't know why they don't, you don't, whoever does it. I don't know why more people don't feel that way consistently throughout their life. I just genuinely don't understand that part. It's very perplexing for me.
I think, Stephen, the only way to get to the bottom of this is to build
one lick at a time.
Yeah, one lick at a time. The only way to get to the bottom of this is to build a reverse bear trap, mechanism, and we'll have to put it to the test. We'll, I'll wear,
Is this permission to torture?
It's permission to terrify to the point of potentially killing.
Okay,
I don't know if that's in the under the guideline of torture, but that's, I guess, what we're referring to here. So you can we'll have to put it to the test. I'll put the bear trap on and we'll see how it goes.
If you don't make a fucking book in this off season, I'm gonna lose it.
I'm going to make 2 books.
Hell yeah.
Actually, I have one for sure in mind that I want to do. I have a few different ideas too for other ones, but the one in particular that I'm itching for.
You should send me some stuff. For the record, that I identify with the, like, you get something from this. It is the same thing. Like, I feel like this is a honest form of expression, or not all the time, but it often is for us. But
It's just when I do it. It's just when I do it because we're friends.
I feel like you were very expressive. You just wrote but I get how this hits those things. And I get how talking to people and like life shit hits on it. I just feel like maybe I just require a lot more than most people, but I feel like most people require more than they get.
Mm-hmm. That's fair. I agree.
Yeah.
Let's get the fuck out of here.
Yeah, for sure.
Thanks again for listening, everybody. Thank you to Approaching Human for the use of his music. You can find his work on SoundCloud at Approaching-Human.
Thanks, Sean. If you're super bored, you can check out my trashy, passionless art on Instagram at Skyzx, New stuff very slowly, but always working. Our bad episode dropped. This is next. Big stuff on the horizon. Appreciate you guys very much.
Fuck yeah.
Hope you make stuff. Make some fucking stuff.
That's going to be all for us today. Stay classy and eat trashy.
Go fast, eat trash. Oh, it's a Sarah. Interrupting. Oh my God, she came in smoking a cigarette and she's throwing a beer can at me.
She wearing a wife beater too?
She actually is.
Is she cosplaying?
No.
As a bad father.
All right, end it.